everybody and welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be one of my bookish content kind of videos. And if you guys are curious, I'm going to mention this in all the videos that I filmed today because I'm so obsessed with this makeup look. My eyes are done using the I Heart Revolution gingerbread palette, using some of those green shades, particularly this one, and this one. And then my eyeliner is NYX Epic Wear in Sapphire. And then the lip combo is Revolution lip liner in Schaefer, and then my Clinique lipstick in number 10 Delicate. Really great nude combo. Today's video is going to be one of you, for those of you who love your statistics or like values or graphs. I'm struggling to read said graph because I don't have my glasses on and I am extremely short-sighted. So if you see throughout this video my head going like this or like this, that's because I can literally see it so much better this far away from my face than I can this far away from my face. This video is going to be talking about all of the book series that I am currently reading. Oh my goodness, did this graph take me bloody ages to make? So I have not done one of these videos before on my channel, so I'm going to go through every single series and I'm going to talk about DNFing them, like ones that I've DNF'd and ones that I'm not continuing after this year, because this year is really the year that I've made this to kind of track how many series I'm currently reading or have started or am going to start. And I really want to reference like if I've DNF'd them, if I'm going to continue them, and then maybe we can have a look at what this graph looks like at a later date, like at the end of 2023, and compare. I honestly haven't really finished as many series as I have started this year. Like I've started quite a few series this year, but this series tracker kind of goes back as late as 2020. So I will tell you guys when I started the series, how far along I am in the series, if I made progress this year, and then what my goal may be for 2023. If you're not interested in this video, I completely respect that. There is some more beauty content and makeup content coming after this video, which is the last bookish video for this month minus my December reading wrap up. Okay, so starting off with The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. This is the biggest series that I have ever considered starting and have started, and this is a epic high fantasy series surrounding a boy called Fitz Chivalry, who is the bastard son to the king in waiting, but when it finds out that he was disloyal to his wife, he abdicates the throne, kind of leaving Fitz as like this random person nobody knows what to do with. Yeah, there's loads of other things that go on in this series. There's two types of magic which you learn about more in... Why is that doing that? There's two types of magic that you learn more about in the series as well, which I won't mention too much because I feel like it's more interesting to read it in the book. I have finished the first trilogy in this series because it's kind of like a long universe, like a multiverse almost thing. I read the first two books, Assassin's Apprentice and Royal Assassin, in 2020, and then I read Assassin's Quest in 2021. I have currently made no progress on this series in 2022. However, I do have full intentions to continue it. The reason why I haven't continued it is because each book is about this long, and I'm not someone who's scared of book length, but this takes me a while to read. Like this series is a slow read, it's slow paced, it's epic high fantasy, so everything kind of like intertwines together, etc, etc. But yeah, they are chunky books, they're slow reads. Next one's controversial. We have Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. Started this in 2020 and I am DNFing it this year. I didn't make any progress on this series in 2021 or 2022. Yeah, I read The Sorcerer's Stone or The Philosopher's Stone, depending on where you live, The Chamber of Secrets and The Prisoner of Azkaban, and I stopped. I love the films. Love the films for Fantastic Beasts as well. I just couldn't get into this. I think if I had a childhood connection to it, I would really, really love it, but I just was getting irritated with the way it was written. I know that's a very uncommon opinion. I feel like if I read it when I was younger, I would have loved it, but because I tried to read it, you know, going into adulthood, I just don't think I got along with it very well. However, I can understand where everyone's obsession is from. Then I have The Beautiful by Renée Ahdieh. I loved this series. I actually haven't finished this though. The Beautiful I read in 2020, loved it, 5-star read. I read it, I think I reread it like 2 to 3 times now as well. I still really enjoy it. The Damned, I didn't enjoy it as much, which was the second book in the series. I own both in hardback. Then the third book in the series is The Righteous. It's not technically part of the series, but it will be the last one, and it's about the main character's best friend, from what I understand. understand, so we'll see what happens there, but I have not read it, and the last time that I made progress in this series was in 2020. I've made no progress since, but I am not going to be discontinuing this one. The Witchlands by Susan Dennard. I read these via my library in 2020. I read Truth Witch, Wind Witch, Blood Witch, and I haven't read Witch Shadow, but that came out this year, so there is a reason why I haven't read it, and then there is apparently a book 5 coming to this series. I would have to reread the whole series to be able to read this, but I do think I want to read Witch Shadow. Like, I do think I want to read the last 2 books or the next 2 books in the series, so I'm not DNFing it yet, but it's not one that I'm definitely going to continue either. Then I have 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James, very controversial book. I've read all 3, finished them all in 2020. The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Myers. I never realised that I actually started this series in 2020. I've read Cinder and Scarlet and I've made no progress since, but it's a series that I'm really interested in continuing, so I don't know why I haven't. I actually own Cress and Winter. I don't own them in paperback, I own them in Kindle, like on the Kindle Unlimited app, but I own the next 2 in like the main 4 book series, but I just haven't read them yet. I don't know why. The Rosalie and Isles books by Tess Gretton. She is like a thriller slash crime novel writer. I really love her writing. This is a 13 book series, and it kind of follows the same 2 investigator duos. I've read The Surgeon and I've read Keeping the Dead. I read Keeping the Dead in 2021. I haven't read anything from her this year. The End series by Gillian Anderson. I read at my library in 2020. I read all 3 of these books. I finished that trilogy, as well as the Fog of Air series by Holly Black. Don't need to say anything about that. That is one of my top tier books. I actually reread the first book this year as well because I just loved it. We're moving on to the book series that I started in 2021 now. Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I read all 3 of these books. I really love this series in general. I know there's some mixed opinions on that, but I personally really enjoyed it. The Mortal Instruments I started in 2021 and I've decided to DNF now because I can't get behind it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but the last 2 books are a lot better. It's a 5-book series. I read 3 of them. I didn't enjoy any of them, and the 3rd one put me in a massive reading slump, so I'm just not going to play with fire. I'm going to DNF this series. The All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness. I started this one in 2021. I've read the first book. I do plan to continue. I haven't read any of the next books in the series, mainly because my elder sister has them and I've been at uni most of the year. The Wagner series by Laura Tharassa. Oh my goodness. I started this one in 2021, read Rhapsodic, the first book, absolutely loved it, fell in love with the series. Then I read the next 3 books back to back in 2021 at the beginning of, in 2022 at the beginning of the year, and I've completely finished this series. 5-star series for me, love Laura Tharassa's writing. Then we have the Black Dagger Brotherhood series by J.R. Ward. I read the first 2 books in 2021. Haven't continued it since. This has so many, there's like 12 books in this series. I've read the first 2. I think I'll continue, but I'm not obsessed. I loved the first book. The second book I didn't enjoy as much. It's kind of like, it's a romance between vampires, if you guys are curious. Then we have The Fallen World by Laura Tharassa. Read this all back to back. Laura Tharassa's just I love her so much. I can't believe I read this in 2021 though, like, shocker. But I have finished the series officially. Then we have Fortuna Swarm by KJ Sutton. Everyone loves this book. I just couldn't get behind it. I read the first book, Fortuna Swarm, in 2021, and I just really disliked it. I didn't like it at all. I know people say it gets better, but I think I'm going to DNF it. I've got so many series on this list. 44 at the moment, if you're curious, and it's not even the end of the year. Monstrous. I read Awakening, which is volume 1. I really enjoy this. It's a graphic novel series. Really enjoyed the first volume and I really want to read the second volume. Black Butler, this has 32 volumes. I have no idea if I'm going to continue for all 32. However, this is by Yana Toboso. I have read the first 2. I read volume 1 in 2021 and volume 2 in 2022, actually quite recently in 2022. Loved both volumes. I really enjoy this manga series, to be honest. Then we have the Wicked Villains series by Katie Roberts. This is another this is like a smutty romance of like Disney retellings. I read the first one, Desperate Measures, and I haven't continued the series since. I've heard that it's quite similar in each book, and I think I will continue. I do think I will continue, but it'll just be like depending on when I'm in the mood for a smutty read, and then I'll pick it up. She is a really great smutty romance writer. So if you are looking for that type of content, I would definitely recommend Katie Roberts in general. Another manga series, this is Vampire Night by Mansuri Hino. I've only read volume 1. I just didn't enjoy it, and I thought that the characterization was just overly sexualized and didn't really enjoy it, so I'm not going to continue. That's a DNF. Then the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas. I read the short story collection The Assassin's Blade in 2021. Loved a couple of the stories and then hated majority of the stories. So I haven't picked up Throne of Glass just yet, but I have been tempted multiple times this year to pick up the first book in the series. So I feel like next year will be the year that I pick up this series again. Married to Magic is a series by Elise Cover. I again read the first book in 2021, A Deal with the Elf King, and I do think I'm going to continue because I did enjoy it. The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ardier, another one that I've forgotten to highlight. Satisfying. I read the first book, The Wrath and the Dawn, in 2021, and I'm not going to continue. I really disliked this book. I really loved Renee Ardier's The Beautiful, as I mentioned earlier. That series did not like this one, so we're not going to continue it. I'm not going to put myself through it. It's only a duology, but I'm not going to force myself to read a second book just because it's a duology. The Brown Sister Trilogy by Talia Hibbert. I started this one in 2021, but I did read Take a Hint, Danny Brown in 2022. This one may be one that does get finished by the end of this year. I have the Akatar series by Sarah J Maas. I love this series. This is fantasy romance, not for everyone, definitely. But yeah, I've read A Court of Thorns and Roses, I've read a Court of Mist and Fury, and I read A Court of Wings and Ruin, all in 2022. So I started this series at the very beginning in January of 2022, and I've read the other 2 books this year. The reason why I've frozen on this one is because I need to get A Court of Frost and Starlight. I already own A Court of Silver Flames. Can someone tell me if I can read A Court of Silver Flames before I read A Court of Frost and Starlight? Please let me know, because I'm on like a book buying ban kind of. But I really want to finish this series, and I really want to read A Court of Silver Flames and A Court of Frost and Starlight, but I don't own A Court of Frost and Starlight. The Love in London series by Donna Allen. I've read To Have and to Hate. I thought it was pretty good. It's only a trilogy, so I think I probably will continue reading it. Again, it's more of a smutty romance read. Then I read These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Oh, we're moving into a series that I started this year, by the way. These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Hated it. We're not continuing this. I know it's only a duology, but I really was bored, like thoroughly bored the whole way through, so we're not continuing that one. That's a DNF. I have Six of Crows. I've read Six of Crows. I haven't read Cocoa Kingdom. It is on my December TBR. Don't know if we'll finish this in time for the end of this year, but I will try. I'm a little bit scared of the book though. The Cafano Crime Family by Rebecca Gannon. I think this is another smutty romance. I read the first book, The Casino King, without realising that it's part of a series, which is typical of me to do with a romance. But yeah, it's only part of a 4-book series. I did enjoy The Casino King, so I will continue this one. Then Crescent City by Sarah J Maas. I read House of Earth and Blood this year. Loved it so much. And I haven't picked up House of Sky and Breath yet. I do have the hardback edition, which is absolutely... Where is the hardback edition? Oh yeah, it's part of my wrapped up books. Anyway, I do really love the series. I just don't think I'm ready to pick up this book until maybe next year, maybe February, I think. Twisted series by Anna Huang, or Huang. I read the Twisted Love this year. The next one is Twisted Games. I didn't love Twisted Love, but I could see potential, so I may continue this one. I'm not sure on whether I want to DNF it or not yet. Pages & Co. I read Tilly and the Book Wanderers, which is the first book in Pages & Co. series by Anna James. This is a children's/middle grade book. Absolutely loved it. Don't know if I'm going to continue though, because I feel like it had like quite a well-rounded ending, but I did love the world, so I might continue it, or buy like a box set that I'll read and then like have my nieces read and then use in my classroom. But yeah, I really love this one. If you're going to read a children's/middle grade, read this or one of the other ones I'm about to mention later on. Then The Gifted Fae Academy by Brittany Chenelly. Read the first book. I think I'll continue. I did enjoy it enough. I don't actually remember what it was about, but I clearly enjoyed it because I haven't DNF'd it yet, so that should be good. Laura Olympus by Rachel Smith. Graphic novel series that I recommend everyone read. It's a fantasy romance. I just love it so much. Between Hades and Persephone. The artwork, incredible. Then we have the One Wild Weekend series by Lexi Hart. I read One Wild Weekend with Connor, not realising this is part of a 17-book series. You heard that right, 17-book series of smutty romances. I think I'll continue because I do like her writing style, but again, it's only like a pick it up if and when I feel like it. I'm not going to force myself to read the whole series if I don't want to. Then the Spanish Love Deception series by Elena Armas. I have read Spanish Love Deception, gave it 5 stars, loved it, and then I actually got the American Roommate Experiment for my birthday as a birthday present, and I'm so excited to read it. I might end up finishing it by the end of this year, but we'll see. I have the Unearthly series by Laura Thrasser. It wasn't my favourite by her, but I did enjoy it a lot. Then we have the Four Horsemen by Laura Thrasser, and I've only read the first book this year, quite recently actually, and I am going to continue it. The Shameless series by Rosie Dannon. Oh my god, I'm so excited to continue this series. This romance, phenomenal. It kind of still felt like light-hearted, but still with some heavier topics. Loved it. And it was also like the main character's job. This is a spoiler, so like if you don't want to know a spoiler for it, then please don't listen to this. It is a porn star, and I just loved it. I've never read a romance book about that profession before, and it was just incredible. I loved it. I thought it was really well written. I can't really speak on the accuracy of it, but I did really love it. This is the other middle grade book that you have to read if you haven't read it already. The Nevermore series by Jessica Townsend. I listened to this on audio through my Libby app on my library. Incredible. I'm currently listening to the second one, Wondersmith. I can't say enough good things about this series. I bloody love it. Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. I'm DNFing. I read the first one, Corrupt, this year. It's not that it was bad, like the smut in it is phenomenal, but it does have some darker themes. But I have seen other books in the series being spoken about and people love them, so I'm kind of on the edge with this one. It's currently in my DNF pile, but if I do choose to continue it, I will mention that later on in my channel. A series that I'm technically rereading from like my younger years is the Shatter Me series by Tahara Murphy. Love it. Read Shatter Me, Unravel Me and Ignite Me so far. I don't think I'm going to be finishing this series by the end of this year. However, I am thoroughly enjoying the reread. Then I've also started the Meet Me series by Georgia Tolofo, which is another romance series, and I have read Meet Me at the Wedding. And those are all 44 of the series that I am currently reading, well, that I was currently reading prior to doing this list. So yeah, I'm going to quickly do some maths and take out the ones I have either finished or I have DNF'd, and we'll come back and I'll tell you guys how many series I am actually currently reading to make progress in. Okay, this was a complete success doing this video. I was actually like DNFing and like going along and finishing them off as we were doing this. Oh my god, I've just forgotten the number. I'm currently reading 29 book series, which is still a lot. So I will do another spreadsheet that is more up to date, that has all of the ones that I've DNF'd already out, and then I'll make a new spreadsheet for going into 2023 about the books, the series that I'm currently reading and still making progress on, and then as I DNF series, I'll put it in like a different column for like DNF, and I'll do this video again at the end of next year. But yeah, those are all the book series that I am currently reading. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. Let's see more videos from me, and I'll catch you guys all in my next one. Bye!